Hello, my name is Michael Rowlett, and I'm the clarinet professor at the University of Mississippi. I'm going to take just a few moments today to talk about tonguing on the clarinet. The first thing to be careful of when you're discussing articulation on a wind instrument is that the speed of the air that you're sustaining through your instrument is not affected by the articulation that you're trying to do. To practice this, I often have students just blow on their palm, a nice steady stream of cold air. You should feel a little circle of cold air on your palm. Okay? Now all we're going to do is we're going to take the tip of our tongue and put it in that hole, in that aperture of your mouth. Okay? You're just going to put your tongue there and just go poo, poo, poo. Okay? Okay? Notice that the airstream was not affected by the action of my tongue. One of the main problems I see in clarinet students who come to me for assistance is that when they want to make a separation in the sound, they often allow the airstream to diminish. Okay? And so the air frequently follows the tongue, and you wind up with kind of a huffy-puffy articulation. Poo, poo, poo. Sometimes with an explosion at the beginning, and then a great diminishing in the airspeed at the end. Okay? Notice when you do this simple little exercise that the circle of air stays, it feels the same. There's just a moment when you don't feel it because your tongue is between your lips. Okay? So the main lesson there is just the tongue does not affect the air. Okay. Now that you've done that, we can talk a little bit about the particular issues of articulation on the clarinet, which is a single reed instrument. Okay? One thing that I like to have students do is just take the tip of their finger and touch the tip of their tongue. Okay? And to do this, let's just have the tongue be completely relaxed so it's flabby. Okay? Kind of wobbly when you put your finger on the tip of your tongue. Okay? Yeah, kind of gross, admittedly. Now what I want you to do is firm your tongue muscle a little bit so that it feels firmer, it feels hard when you put your finger on it. Okay? That is how you want your tongue to feel when you are tonguing on the clarinet. And notice that to make your tongue feel like that, it was a very minimal amount of effort. Okay? It didn't require you to tense your neck or your throat muscles like that. No. Your tongue is a very small muscle. It doesn't take much effort just to firm it up like that. Okay? Now we can really find the tip of our tongue. And by the tip, I don't mean the very tippy tip. I actually mean the tip of the surface of the tongue. Imagine that you were eating an ice cream cone. Okay? This is the part of your tongue you would put on the ice cream cone. It's up here. It's the top of the tip of your tongue. Okay? Up there. All right, now we're going to put the mouthpiece and reed in our mouths like we did when we were doing the embouchure talk. We're going to make our clarinet embouchure. And I just want you to run your tongue around the inside of your mouth and around the reed and the mouthpiece. And just look around until you find the edge of the reed. So again, it's not really the tip of the reed. It's not the spot where the mouthpiece and the reed have their edge. It's really the tip of the surface of the reed. Okay, it's that, and you do want to feel that edge of the reed, the edge of the surface of the reed on your tongue. I think of it this way: the top of the tip of the tongue touches the bottom of the tip of the reed. And that's a little tongue twister you can say to yourself as you're learning about tonguing. Okay? But let's try first to just find that edge of the reed. So just put the mouthpiece in your mouth and run your tongue around. See if you can find that edge of the reed, and I want you to try to stroke it with your tongue, just as if you were licking that ice cream cone. Okay? If we put air through the mouthpiece and reed, and we make our concert F sharp again, I like to think of the action of the tongue being like you're saying T, T, T. Okay, that E syllable is the one that we like to use to have the correct shape inside our mouth. So it's kind of like you're saying T, 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 but when you talk, you might notice that your jaw naturally moves. T, 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 okay? We don't want any of that jaw motion when we're tonguing on the reed. It's only a flexing of the tongue. So T, 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 no motion. Here we'll try it with some sound coming out of the mouthpiece and reed. I like to try 4 or 5 of them in a row. And you should notice that there is not really an interruption in the quality of the sound. There's just a space. There's an interruption in the sound, but when the sound starts again, it's the same quality. If you have a wobble in the sound, then probably too much of your tongue is moving. Only the very tip, the part you touch with your finger, that is the only part of your tongue that needs to just flex back and forth a little bit. Just like when you're driving a car, often when you first start doing it, your motions are way too big and the car swerves around. You actually only need a small motion on the steering wheel to adjust the car. Same with your tongue. Keep working at this until you use just the tiniest bit of the tip of your tongue, and then you'll hear no adjustment in the sound that comes out of the clarinet. T, T, T. All right, remember, the top of the tip of your tongue to the bottom of the tip of the reed. Have fun tonguing.